Night stretches like an ancient serpent beneath the Bodhi tree. Siddhartha sits unmoving, breath thin as mist, mind luminous and still. The world holds its breath with him. Beneath his closed eyes flickers the final question, not of the gods, nor of men, but of the heart. What lies beyond all seeking? From the farthest edge of silence, a murmur coils through the dark, laughter, low and hollow. The ground shivers. In the unseen horizon, clouds gather like bruises. A shadow steps forth. Mara, Lord of Desire, his crown whispering serpents of smoke. Why sit here, Prince? His voice purrs. What glory hides in nothingness? Siddhartha does not open his eyes. There is no glory here, he murmurs. Only truth. The wind stiffens. The air trembles. In the space between stillness and storm, two realms meet. The seeker and the shadow, poised at the threshold of awakening. The wind dies. Mara steps closer, his voice honeyed with doubt. You seek freedom, yet you flee the world. You call this courage. His tone slithers between taunt and invitation. Siddhartha's silence is deeper than stone. The faint rhythm of his breath softens the air itself. Mara's eyes gleam. He sees in that stillness a threat greater than armies. The world burns for joy and sorrow, he hisses. And you would abandon it? Siddhartha's eyelids tremble, not in fear, but in compassion. I abandon nothing, he whispers. Only the dream around them. The forest bends under unseen pressure. Shadows crawl upward, forming faces of the lost and hungry. Each whisper echoes temptation. Glory, love, power, peace. Siddhartha's hands rest upon his knees, unmoved. A flicker of golden light shivers across his skin. Mara's laughter cracks the night open. Then face what you have denied, he roars. From the darkness surge shapes, soldiers of shadow, eyes like dying stars, armed with obsidian spears of doubt. The ground shakes. Trees bow. But Siddhartha does not stir. His gaze remains inward, his mind clear. Each arrow loosed toward him dissolves in midair, vanishing into stillness. The storm thickens. Wind, scream. Mara watches, both enraged and enthralled. Siddhartha whispers, "There is no enemy." The words ripple through the air like sound through water. For a moment, even the storm hesitates, suspended between illusion and truth. The assault fades into echo. The night grows eerily still. From the remnants of shadow, a single shape coalesces. Mara himself, stepping forward, his form no longer monstrous but regal, almost human. "Who are you to defy me?" he demands. Siddhartha opens his eyes, gaze gentle yet piercing. "I am one who sees." The words strike like lightning, not to wound, but to illuminate. Mara flinches. His crown flickers with dimming light. "If you claim the truth," he snarls, "prove it." "Who bears witness to your worth?" Siddhartha lowers his hand to the soil, fingers pressing into the earth. The ground hums with a low, ancient sound. Somewhere deep below, something stirs. "Nasol. A quiet thunder blooms beneath the world. From the soil, a hand rises, graceful, strong, dripping streams of golden water. The earth goddess emerges, her form woven of roots and light. "I bear witness," she whispers, her voice the sound of rivers returning to sea. Mara recoils as her gaze meets his, not with anger, but with infinite knowing. Siddhartha bows his head in silent reverence. The goddess touches the earth, and the tremor stills. The merit of his countless lives fills this ground. She says softly, The earth remembers. Mara steps back, shadows faltering. Around them, dawn begins to bleed faint color into the horizon. The first birds stir. The silence that follows is not emptiness, it is awakening beginning to breathe. Before dawn can take root, Mara's fury deepens into something colder than rage, resolve. He lifts his hand, and from every corner of darkness surge the echoes of human weakness, fear, envy, hunger, pride. The sky blackens as if the night itself is being poured back into the world. Siddhartha remains motionless, his eyes closed once more, the breath within him steady as the turning earth. The air thickens with the sound of marching, not of men, but of thoughts, countless illusions armed with voices whispering, "You are unworthy." Siddhartha hears them, each like a fragment of his past, the prince, the wanderer, the seeker, and lets them pass. Mara's army forms a vast ring around him. The Lord of Delusion smiles. "Let your stillness save you now." With a motion of his hand, Mara unleashes the first assault. The air splits with howling wind. Blades of darkness arc through the sky, crashing against the invisible calm surrounding Siddhartha. Yet each dissolves, vanishing into silence. Mara narrows his burning eyes. He shifts shape, now towering and immense, now frail and pitiful, his form seeking any crack in the monk's serenity. "What if the world forgets you?" he whispers, voice sliding like smoke through the air. "What if your sacrifice dies unheard?" Siddhartha opens his eyes at last, gaze deep and still. "The truth has no need of memory," he says softly. The storm falters for a breath. Even the demons pause, sensing something they cannot strike. The quiet power of one who sees through them. Mara's roar shakes the heavens. From his mouth spills a tide of illusions. Kings who once envied Siddhartha, servants who cursed him, lovers he never claimed. The army of shadow becomes an ocean of faces, each crying his name, each pleading for recognition. Siddhartha's heart stirs, compassion rising like light through dark water. He sees not enemies, but echoes of every being trapped in their own pain. "You are not separate from me," he murmurs. The wind carries his voice through the battlefield, and some phantoms flicker, trembling, before dissolving into pale dust. Mara watches, stunned by this strange victory born not of force, but mercy. The battlefield falls to silence. Then Mara, desperate, changes his strategy. He conjures mirrors from thin air. Hundreds, thousands, each reflecting Siddhartha's image. In every reflection, Siddhartha is different. One proud, one angry, one trembling, one grasping at peace. The mirrors hum like bees encircling him. "See yourself," Mara sneers. "And tell me, who are you?" Siddhartha gazes into the reflections one by one. Then he smiles gently. "These are only ripples," he says. He closes his eyes, and every mirror shatters at once. The shards fall like rain, dissolving before they touch the ground. The sky begins to lighten, though the sun has not yet risen. The storm thins into slow drifting clouds. Mara kneels, his form flickering, neither god nor demon, but weary. "You would destroy me," he says, voice frayed with bitterness and awe. Siddhartha looks upon him, eyes full of still compassion. "There is nothing to destroy," he replies, only to understand. Mara lowers his gaze. Around them, the last of his army dissolves into wind. What remains is quiet. Vast, living silence. Siddhartha returns to stillness, his hands resting upon his knees. The first bird cries from a distant tree, and the long night finally exhales. When the last echo of Mara's army fades, stillness returns. Heavy, luminous, vast. But from that quiet, a new fragrance rises, sweet, intoxicating, impossibly human. Siddhartha's breath stills as the wind carries laughter, delicate as glass, Three figures emerge from the drifting mist, moving like moonlight over water. They are not soldiers, but song, each a whisper of longing clothed in form. Tanha, Raga, and Arati, daughters of Mara, embodiments of thirst, passion, and discontent. Lord of stillness, Tanha purrs. You've conquered fear. But what of love? Raga's eyes gleam with warmth that could melt stone. Arati twirls, scattering petals of fire. The world is beautiful, she says softly. Why leave it behind? Siddhartha's gaze does not rise. Beauty seen without grasping is freedom. The air trembles with their dance, the last and deepest illusion. Tanha kneels before Siddhartha, her voice a whisper that tastes of memory. You have known hunger, pain, the ache of loss, but have you forgotten the sweetness of touch? She leans closer, her presence shimmering like heat over desert sand. Siddhartha's heart does not move, yet he feels the echo of every life he has lived. Husband, father, lover, son. Raga steps forward, eyes bright with compassion twisted into temptation. Would you not share your joy with those who love you? She asks. Siddhartha's eyes open, calm as rivers. Love that binds is sorrow, he answers. Behind him, the body leaves stir, their rustling sound like quiet applause from the universe itself. Arati begins to dance, her movement wild, full of laughter and fire. The air thickens with color. Petals swirl like sparks, the world itself bending to her rhythm. Every motion whispers pleasure, joy, the beauty of living. The sound of flutes fills the clearing, though no one plays. Mara watches from afar, his last hope gleaming faintly in his eyes. Siddhartha's breathing remains even. He sees the dance, feels its rhythm, yet beyond it perceives the endless cycle of desire. Birth, decay, rebirth, all bound to longing. He whispers, the flame burns brightest before it dies. Arati pauses mid-spin, her joy fading into stillness. Her smile trembles, then softens into tears. The daughters grow quiet. Their allure fades to sorrow. Tanha's voice trembles. If you let go of all, do we vanish too? Siddhartha opens his eyes fully now, and for the first time, he smiles. You are not my enemies, he says gently. You are the beauty of the world misunderstood. The words fall like blessings. The three sisters look at one another, their illusions unraveling. Their jewels dim, their silks become pale smoke. Raga weeps softly. Then what are we without desire? Siddhartha answers, you are freedom's reflection, once seen without clinging. Their forms begin to dissolve, returning to light. The daughters of Mara vanish like dew at sunrise. Their laughter lingers for a heartbeat, then is gone. The clearing is empty but for the rustle of leaves and the low hum of awakening. Siddhartha bows his head, not in triumph but in compassion for all beings still bound by longing. Mara watches from the shadows, his hands trembling. The daughter's final sigh echoes through his mind. Love, not weapon, had failed him. He turns his gaze skyward and whispers, so, it is not the body that betrays me, it is the heart. Siddhartha's stillness deepens, his breath merging with the wind. The dawn brightens fully, gold spilling across the earth like mercy. Dawn hovers over the forest, still and fragile. The scent of wet earth clings to the air as Siddhartha remains seated beneath the body tree. The silence feels final, yet Mara lingers. He steps forward, stripped of illusion, his voice raw with something almost human. You have conquered desire, he says quietly, but pride still breathes in you. Who are you to claim enlightenment? Who bears witness to your worth? Siddhartha opens his eyes, and for a moment compassion meets darkness face to face. The earth remembers, he replies. Mara smiles faintly, a wounded smile, and if it lies, the words fall sharp as blades. The air tightens. Doubt, the most subtle poison, begins its whisper. Siddhartha's breath deepens. The battle now moves within. Mara steps nearer. Voice now a whisper in Siddhartha's ear. You left your family. You abandoned your son. You call this compassion? The words twist like thorns. Siddhartha's stillness quivers, the faintest tremor crossing his chest. The faces of loved ones flicker in his mind. Yasodhara's gentle smile, his infant's cry. The ache of humanity stirs like a forgotten wound. Mara senses the opening, pressing harder. You claim to love all beings, yet you fled the one who loved you most. Siddhartha exhales slowly, his eyes closing again. Love is not possession, he murmurs. It is freedom shared. His voice, calm but trembling with memory, dissolves the sting. The trees sway as if breathing with him, releasing the weight of ages. But doubt is a patient hunter. It changes shape, wearing the robes of wisdom. Mara now kneels, no longer taunting, but pleading. Perhaps you are right, Siddhartha. Perhaps truth exists. But what if no one understands you? What if your awakening saves no one? The forest grows cold. Siddhartha's pulse slows. The question seeps deep into his silence. He sees the world. Cities of suffering, kings drunk on power, beggars crushed by hunger. A storm brews inside him, the weight of compassion becoming almost unbearable. For a fleeting instant, even he wonders, can peace belong to one when so many remain bound? Then, from the earth itself, a faint hum rises, the echo of Vasundhara's witness. His breath steadies again. The hum becomes thunder beneath the surface, and the ground shivers. From the soil, once more, light begins to bloom. Vasundhara, the earth goddess, rises again, calm, luminous, her presence fragrant as rain. Doubt is the final veil, she says, her voice like river song. Mara recoils, his shadow fraying. Siddhartha bows slightly, his palms together. The world doubts itself, he says softly, but truth is patient. Vasundhara smiles, her eyes reflecting eternity. She touches the ground and golden water flows outward, washing over Mara's feet. The dark lord staggers back, his reflection breaking apart in the rippling light. The world grows still again, the air heavy with revelation. As Vasundhara's light fades into the roots of the tree, the forest exhales. Mara stands alone, trembling, not in hatred now, but in awe. You have no army, he whispers. No weapon, no power, yet I cannot defeat you. Siddhartha opens his eyes fully. The dawn catches them like twin suns. You were never my enemy, he replies. You are the mirror that taught me to see. The words strike deeper than any weapon. Mara's form flickers, his edges softening into vapor. He looks toward the rising sun, face filled with sorrow and strange peace. Then my task is done, he says. As he fades, a final whisper remains. Remember me when you teach them. The forest glows golden. The silence now complete is the doorway to awakening. The forest stands silent, the kind of silence that feels alive. Mara's echo has faded, yet the space he occupied still hums with his shadow. Siddhartha remains unmoving, his breath long and deep. The world watches. Even the leaves seem to hesitate between stillness and fall. Within him something shifts. Not a thought, not a vision, but a release. The weight of every illusion he has ever known slides away like old skin. He feels the vastness of all life within his chest. The grief of mothers, the hunger of beasts, the endless reaching of the human heart. And yet, none of it binds him now. Above him, the last stars blink before surrendering to dawn. Their light melts into the horizon as if bowing to the awakening beneath them. A final gust sweeps through the clearing, as if testing the balance of all things. Shadows rise one last time, fleeting images of greed, fear, pride, and sorrow, each taking form only to dissolve upon contact with the radiance that now surrounds him. Siddhartha's eyes remain closed. His heart has become a mirror that nothing can stain. The wind itself bows, settling into calm. Beneath his skin, the pulse of life beats in rhythm with the turning of the earth. The struggle, once thunderous, now ends not with a cry but with a whisper. Peace is not found. It is remembered. The final illusion fades, the illusion of struggle itself. The ground glows beneath him. Each root of the body tree hums with light, carrying awareness through the veins of the earth. Animals emerge from the shadows. Deer, birds, serpents, drawn by something they cannot name. The air thickens with quiet joy. Above, the branches stretch as though reaching to cradle the heavens. Siddhartha's face softens. He sees the chain of life. Every birth, every death, every tear, woven into one endless rhythm. His voice is barely audible. The one who suffers and the one who saves are the same. The forest trembles, not in fear, but recognition. The light intensifies, not from the sky, but from within him. His body becomes transparent, a vessel of radiance rather than form. The air quivers. His mind descends into the deepest silence beyond thought or memory. Time ceases to move. There is no Mara, no Siddhartha, no tree, no dawn. Only awareness, infinite and pure. For an eternity that lasts a heartbeat, everything is one vast, unbroken stillness. Then gently, the light begins to subside. Siddhartha's body reforms, his eyes still closed, his expression serene. The body leaves shimmer, as if applauding the end of illusion itself. And then, silence, true silence. The battle is over. No victor, no vanquished, only awakening. Siddhartha opens his eyes slowly. They no longer reflect the world. They contain it. Every sound, the rustle of a leaf, the cry of a bird, the distant hum of human longing, now sings in harmony. He smiles, not in triumph, but in compassion beyond measure. The first ray of sunrise breaks through the trees, falling upon his face like a blessing. Darkness has not been slain. It has been understood. The light of the world returns to itself. The sun's first light filters through the bade leaves, scattering diamonds of gold upon Siddhartha's shoulders. The forest, once trembling with battle, now rests in luminous peace. Within that silence, his mind turns inward, journeying through the layers of being. From the breath to the heart. From the heart to the boundless field beyond self. He sees the wheel of life turning, gods falling, beggars rising, lovers clinging, warriors dying, all chasing the same fleeting shadow of permanence. He sees himself in each, and each within him. The boundaries between self and world dissolve. A gentle warmth expands through his body, not of flesh, but of realization. He has crossed the ocean without moving, and in that instant, even time bows and stills. Within his stillness, visions unfold, not of gods or heavens, but of truth itself. He sees countless beings wandering in ignorance, bound by craving and fear. He feels their pain as his own, the cry of a hungry child, the grief of a mother, the anger of a king. Every emotion, every illusion blossoms before him and dissolves into compassion. All beings seek peace, he whispers, yet grasp the fire that burns them. Tears form in the corners of his eyes, not of sorrow, but of boundless love. The forest bends closer. as though listening. Even the wind seems to hush, bearing witness to the birth of wisdom. Through the veil of compassion comes the final whisper of temptation. Not from Mara, but from within. If you have found the end of suffering, the voice says, why return to the world? Why not remain in this peace forever? The thought glows tender, seductive in its purity. Siddhartha listens. His heart aches at the idea of returning to a world that does not yet see. But in that ache he finds truth. Compassion that refuses to rest while others still wander blind. There can be no awakening for one alone, he murmurs. The thought dissolves. Stillness deepens into love that cannot be contained. The light within him expands beyond the body, filling the clearing, spilling into the horizon. He no longer sits beneath a tree. He is the tree, the earth, the wind, the sky. The river flows through his veins. The stars pulse within his breath. He hears the rhythm of all hearts, the laughter and the weeping of the world. In that endless vastness, no division remains. Every being, from the humblest worm to the proudest god, breathes the same truth: impermanence, compassion, and awakening. The sun now climbs higher, but its brilliance cannot outshine the serenity unfolding beneath its gaze. The brilliance softens, condensing once more into human form. Siddhartha opens his eyes. The world appears unchanged, the tree, the grass, the rising sun, yet everything is different. He sees not matter, but the dance of interbeing, not suffering, but the opportunity to awaken. His lips part in a smile that feels older than time. The title that will one day echo through the ages takes birth in that silence. Buddha, the awakened one. He gazes toward the horizon, where morning has ripened into gold. Birds take flight from the Bodhi branches, tracing the sky in arcs of freedom. He whispers to the wind, all beings hold the seed of this peace. The world listens, reborn in his seeing. The dawn is full now, clear, golden, unburdened. The Bodhi tree whispers with soft wind, its leaves glittering like countless blessings. Siddhartha sits unmoving, yet the stillness around him hums with infinite life. He feels the pulse of every realm, the laughter of gods, the wailing of mortals, the deep patience of the earth. Above, the sky carries one lingering star, pale yet radiant against the sun's birth. His gaze lifts toward it. The morning star seems to speak, not in words, but in understanding. You have seen the end, and the beginning are one. Siddhartha bows his head, and in that gesture, the universe bows with him. The path is complete. Awakening has no name, yet it shines in all names. Birdsong returns to the forest, tentative at first, then joyous, as if creation itself remembers how to sing. The Buddha opens his palms and watches a fallen leaf drift upon. In its veins he sees all life, birth, decay, renewal, freedom. This is the truth, he whispers. Nothing is lost, nothing possessed, nothing bound. His voice ripples through the air, soft yet vast. Mara's presence flickers one last time in the corner of the world, not as a demon, but as a shadow of thought. He watches silently, and for the first time, smiles without envy. In that smile, even darkness finds rest. The Buddha rises slowly. His feet press into the soil, and the earth responds with quiet reverence. Every step radiates serenity. The animals of the forest gather, deer, fox, and peacock, drawn by the calm that now fills the air. He looks toward the north, where villages sleep unaware that the world has changed forever. He feels no pride, only tenderness. I will walk, he says softly. not to teach, but to remember with them. His words dissolve into the morning breeze. Each movement is effortless, like breath becoming wind. Even the sunlight follows him, folding across his path. He pauses at the edge of the clearing, turning one last time toward the Bodhi tree. Its leaves murmur like the voice of old friends, whispering gratitude. The Buddha smiles, pressing his palms together. "May all beings find the peace I have found," he says quietly. The air responds with a breeze carrying distant laughter, like echoes of future disciples yet unborn. He knows the path ahead will be long, misunderstanding, rejection, even reverence. But he also knows that none of it will touch the center that has awakened within him. Beneath the soft roar of the river nearby, the sound of samsara continues, yet now it is music, not sorrow. As the sun rises to its zenith, the Buddha walks beyond the forest, his shadow stretching long and gentle upon the earth. The morning star fades into the blue, yet its light remains in every leaf, every drop of dew, every heart that will one day awake. The path he leaves is invisible, but the peace he carries ripples through the world like wind through grass. Somewhere, a child laughs. Somewhere, an old man breathes his last. Somewhere, someone begins to seek. The Buddha walks on, not away, but toward all things. Behind him, the Bodhi tree sways once more, whispering in timeless rhythm. Awakened, the world is one.